Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala ibadihi allazina istafa. Amma ba'du, fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa idh akhadha Allahu mithaqan nabiyyina lama ataytukum min kitabin wa hikmatin thumma ja'akum rasulun musaddiqun lima ma'akum latu'minunna bihi wa latansurunnahu. قال أقررتم وأخذتم على ذلكم إصري قالوا أقررنا قال فاشهدوا وأنا معكم من الشاهدين فمن تولى بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون. صدق الله العظيم. And just recall when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took a covenant from the Anbiya, from the prophets, whatever I give you from the book and the wisdom, and then comes to you another prophet confirming that which might be with you, لَتُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهِ, you will have to believe in him, وَلَتَنْصُرُنَّهُ, and you will have to help him. قَالَ أَقْرَرْتُمْ, he asked, do you accept? وَأَخَذْتُمْ عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ إِصْرِي, and you take the burden of my covenant on you. قَالُوا أَقْرَرْنَا, they said, we have accepted. قَالَ فَاشْهَدُوا وَأَنَا مَعَكُمْ مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ. Then Allah said, be a witness to it, and I am also with you a witness. This is called Mithaqul Nabiyyin. Just as we have the Mithaq that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took from all the spirits and souls of all the mankind. Alastu bi rabbikum qalu bala. Before coming in this world, when only the spirits were created, not the bodies. At the same moment, from the souls and spirits of the prophets. Because when all the humanity was present at that time, the prophets, they were also present in the form of spirits. So this was a special covenant that was taken from the prophets, which were to come in the world afterwards. That whenever I give you and I appoint you as prophets and messengers, and give you some of my book, and then the wisdom and Sharia and so on, guidance, then after you comes another prophet, and after him will come another prophet. So all of you must believe in him, support him, and you must help all the coming prophets who come after you. So this is actually being told to the Bani Israel and to the Christians, that you must accept Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as he is now the last prophet who has come after Moses, after Jesus alayhi salatu wassalam. فَمَنْ تَوَلَّى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ, so whosoever turns his back to this covenant after this, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ, so verily they are the people who are transgressors, who are rebellious in nature. أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ, do they want to have another deen except the deen of Allah? أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ وَلَّهُ أَسْلَمَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, although to him submits everything and everyone who is in the heavens and who is on the earth, ta'am wa karha, willingly or unwillingly, everything is obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the worst kafir on this earth, partially he is also submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he is subjected to the laws of the nature. All the natural laws are governing his life also. And these laws, they have been framed, they have been enforced by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our heart is beating according to that law. It is not beating under our instructions. It will stop when there is the command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So actually we are also obeying Allah in that part of our life where we have no control over ourselves. So everything is actually submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, willingly or unwillingly. أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ وَلَهُ أَسْلَمَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُونَ. And finally, all of them will be returned to Allah. قُلْ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ. Now the like of this ayah was there in the 16th section of Surah Al-Baqarah. قُلْ, say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and say you, O the believers on Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ, we believe in Allah. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا, and we believe in whatever has been sent on us, sent down to us. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, and we believe in what was sent down to Ibrahim, wa Ismail, and also to Ismail, wa Ishaqa, wa Yaquba, wa Lasbati, and whatever was sent down for Ishaq and Yaqub and his progeny. وَمَا أُوتِيَ Musa, and whatever was given to Musa, wa Isa, and whatever was given to Isa, wa Nabiyyun, and whatever was given to all the prophets of Allah, min Rabbihim, from their Lord. لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ, the same words. We don't discriminate between even one of them. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ, and we all submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَا يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ, and whosoever will seek any deen except Islam, it will not be accepted from him. وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, and in the hereafter, he will be the loser. He will be from among the losers. كَيْفَ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ قَوْمًا كَفَرُوا بَعْدَ إِيمَانِهِمْ. How will Allah guide a people who committed kufr, who denied after Iman? Now what does it mean? It might mean, number one, that their hearts had believed in Quran and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاهُمْ. So as if they had believed, but now their tongues, apparently, they are belying it, they are denying it. Number two, there might be some people who in some moments, might have said so also from their tongues, that actually we have read, and there are traditions, there are ahadith to this effect, that the signs of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are present in Torah. So whatever I could gather from it was that such people accepted Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as prophet, but they didn't think that it is necessary for them to believe in him. He is prophet, but it's not necessary. We have our prophets, we have our books. As certain people even today say, that if someone is a Jew or someone is a Christian or someone is a Sabi, etc., the ayah that we read in the 8th section of Surah Al-Baqarah, if he believes in Allah, if he believes in hereafter, then his salvation is ensured. This idea prevails in the minds of some people even today, that all these religions, the Tawheed and Akhirah, Tawheed and Ma'ad, Iman Billah, Iman Bil Akhirah, if these two conditions are fulfilled, then the person will be salvated and he will have salvation on the day of judgment. But this is wrong, as I told you. After the advent of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to have faith in Muhammad and to have belief in Muhammad is necessary, absolutely necessary. So that interpretation is not correct. But here, كَيْفَ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ قَوْمًا كَفَرُوا بَعْدَ إِيمَانِهِمْ, these people might have been under the same wrong impression. Yes, okay, Muhammad is a prophet, but it's not necessary for us to believe in him. For us, it is sufficient that we act upon Torah, we have the Sharia. Muhammad also says that Torah was from Allah, it is from Moses. Moses was the prophet of Allah, messenger of Allah. When we are following Moses, it's sufficient for our salvation. So this mistake and notion might be there between the lines in this ayah. كَيْفَ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ قَوْمًا كَفَرُوا بَعْدَ إِيمَانِهِمْ وَشَهِدُوا أَنَّ الرَّسُولَ حَقٌّ, and they testified to it that Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is true. He is a true claimant when he says, I am a messenger of Allah. وَجَاءَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتِ, and to them so many clear signs have appeared. Wallahu la yahdil qawma zalimeen. But now, even after this, if they are not ready to accept Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and believe in him, Allah is not going to guide such rebellious people, such evildoers. أولئك جزاهم أن عليهم لعنة الله والملائكة والناس أجمعين. These people, on them there will be the curse of Allah and the curse of all the angels and the curse of all the human beings, of the whole of mankind. خالدين فيها, and they will remain in that curse forever. لا يخفف عنهم العذاب, punishment will not be diminished for them. ولا هم ينذرون, nor there will be any period of respite for them. إلا الذين تابوا من بعد ذلك. These ayat, are very similar to the ayat number 160 to 162 of Surah Al-Baqarah. In the 19th section, we had similar ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah. I am only referring to this thing so that point that I gave you in the beginning, that these two surahs are very similar to each other. They go to form one pair of surahs to which the Prophet ﷺ has given a common name, Az-Zahrawain, two very bright surahs of the Quran. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا مِن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ, except those who repented after that, وَأَصْلَحُوا, and they mended their attitude and ways. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, for them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving and merciful. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بَعْدَ إِيمَانِهِمْ ثُمَّ ازْدَادُوا كُفْرًا, but those people who reverted to kufr and non-believing after declaring iman, after attestation, then they increased. They went on increasing in kufr, in disbelief. لَن تُقْبَلَ تَوْبَتُهُمْ, their tawbah, their repentance will never be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الضَّالُّونَ, and definitely they are the people who have gone astray. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَمَاتُوا وَهُمْ كُفَّارٌ, and whosoever commits kufr, either he is kufr already, he is kafir, he is in kufr, or he has become kafir after becoming Muslim, he is murtad. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَمَاتُوا وَهُمْ كُفَّارٌ, and now if he dies as a kafir, as a non-believer, فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمْ, it will not be acceptable from one of them. مِلْءُ الْأَرْضِ ذَهَبًا, although he may be able to present the earth load of gold, وَلَوْ افْتَدَى بِهِ, to ransom himself from this punishment of akhirah. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, for them is a painful torment. وَمَا لَهُمْ مِن نَاصِرِينَ, and there will be no helpers for them. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, you will never be able to reach the level of virtue, the level of piety, unless you can spend for the pleasure of Allah those things which you love. Now you know the subject which was discussed in the Ayatul Bir, ayah number 177 of Surah Al-Baqarah. That is as if it has been condensed into very small form. لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ وَالْكِتَابِ وَالنَّبِيِّينَ وَآتَى الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ وَالسَّائِلِينَ وَفِي الرِّقَابِ. All this long, ayah has been condensed. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, you will never be able to reach, to achieve the position of virtue and taqwa and piety, unless حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, you spend for the cause of Allah, you expend and give away those things which are very dear to you, not the things which have gone out of use. Now they are useless for you, they are old. No, those things which you love, which you like, which you adore, which are dear to you. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ, and whatever you will spend for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah knows it. Although you might have done so secretly, without telling anybody. As I told you, the wordings of the hadith are, when you are giving some alms, some charity to a person, whatever your right hand is giving, let not even your own left hand know it. This is the highest level. There should be secrecy in sadaqat and nafila, additional sadaqat. But zakah, that is farz, that is obligatory. It has to be given openly. But you know the additional sadaqat-e-nafila, what we call, one should try to keep it and conceal it and not to announce it. Kullu ta'am kana hillam li bani Israel. All the food, and does it mean the usual food that was being used in the Arabian Peninsula. All the food was permissible for Bani Israel, for the children of Israel, illa ma harrama Israelu ala nafsihi, except that which Israel, that is Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he forbade for himself. Actually, as I told you, the meat of camel was not liked by Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. He decided not to use it. So actually it was a personal choice, personal like and dislike, personal decision. But then you know the Bani Israel thought that this is haram. This is not permissible. And they were objecting to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the Muslims. How they are using, how they eat this camel flesh. This is haram in the Sharia of Musa. So Quran says no. It has never been declared haram. And here are the alfaz, here are the wordings. Min qabli an tunazzala Torah. This actually decision was taken by Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam before the coming down of Torah. Torah was given to Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam about nearly 300 years after Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. In Torah there is no injunction. Qul fatu bit Torati fatluha in kuntum sadiqin. Now this is the challenge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving. You bring forth Torah and now read it. If there is any injunction which forbids and declares haram the flesh of camel, then your objection is okay. But if there is no injunction in the Torah, then it is actually, Quran is giving the explanation. It was not declared haram by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was actually disliked by Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. He decided not to use it. And his progeny thought that it is haram. This is why, you know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was forbidden when, you know, he declared a certain sort of honey, certain type of honey. He decided, I will never take it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, he then sent down those ayat which are in the beginning of Surah Al-Tahrim. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu lima tuharrimu ma ahallallahu lak. Why are you swearing that you will not use and you will not eat something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared halal and permissible for you? Because the same, you know, mistake could have happened with the Muslim Ummah also then. Because an action of the Prophet, it becomes very important. People take it to be law. Kullu ta'am kana hillan li bani Israila illa ma harrama Israelu ala nafsihi min qabli an tunazzala at-Torah. Qul fa'tu bit-Torati fatluha in kuntum sadiqin. So bring forth Torah and read it if you are truthful. فَمَنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. Whosoever forges a lie against Allah or on Allah after this, then they are surely the unjust people. قُلْ صَدَقَ اللَّهِ. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah has said the truth. Allah has told you the truth. فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. So you should follow the practices and the path of Ibrahim, who was away from all falsehood. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And he was also not from those who associate anybody or anything with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as partners or equals. إِنَّ أَوَّلَ بَيْتٍ وُضِعَ لِلنَّاسِ لَلَّذِي بِبَكَّةِ. Verily and surely the first house that was built for people, that is for worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the one that is at Bakkah. Bakkah and Bakkah is the same word. Two pronunciations of the same word. Bak, you know, Bak and Bakkah, that was the word in Hebrew language for city. You had, you know, Baal Bak. Baal Bak was the city of Baal. Baal was one of their gods. You know, so they named that city of Baal, Baal Bak. So Bakkah was the city, and this has turned into Makkah. The only pronunciation, changes in pronunciation, the city is the same. Inna awwala baytin wudi'a lin-nasi lallazi bi Makkah. The first house that was built for people, that is for worship of Allah, is the one that is at Makkah. Mubarakan, that is the blessed one. Wa hudan lil alameen, and it's a source of guidance for all the worlds. Fihi ayatun bayyinat. In that house there are very clear signs. And one of those clear signs is Maqam Ibrahim, that stone which was the station for Ibrahim when he was raising the wall of Kaaba. وَمَنْ دَخَلَهُ كَانَ آمِنًا. And whosoever enters it, he is in peace, he is in security. This tradition about Baitullah remained intact even during the worst days of Jahiliyyah. There was shirk, there was kufr, everything. But this haram, this was a place of peace and security and tranquility. If you could find the killer and murderer of your own father in that place, the Arabs will never touch him, because this is the place of peace. This is haram, this is for amn. Man dakhalahu kana amina, walillahi ala an-nas hijjul bayt man istata'a ilayhi sabila. And it's the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the people, over the mankind, to perform Hajj of his house, of his home, of his house. Hajjul bayt man istata'a ilayhi sabila. Whosoever can make his journey towards it, whosoever can afford the journey. Waman kafara, here again the word kufr is used. Whosoever can afford taking journey and he doesn't commit and he doesn't perform Hajj, then as if he is in the kufr. He has committed kufr, because this is farz. And if you are not performing a farz, not fulfilling a duty that has been assigned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means you are denying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are refusing to accept Him as your Lord and Master. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And whosoever is committing kufr, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't stand in need of anything of the whole world. He is ghani, anil alameen, all the worlds. There is no need to be fulfilled for Him. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لِمَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ شَهِيدٌ عَلَى مَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Say to these people of the book, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, O people of the book, why are you denying Allah? Why are you refusing to accept Allah as your Lord? Why are you denying the ayat of Allah? وَاللَّهُ شَهِيدٌ عَلَى مَا تَعْمَلُونَ. And whatsoever you are doing, Allah Ta'ala is a witness to it. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لِمَ تَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Say to them, O people of the book, why are you obstructing the people from the way of Allah? Man amana tabghunahu iwaja. Whosoever comes to believe, you want to create for him conditions of crookedness, so that he should turn towards wrong, towards he should go astray from the right path. Wantum shuhada, and you are yourself witnesses that this is the right path. This is actually the deen of Allah. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And Allah is not unaware of what you are doing. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِن تُطِيعُوا فَرِيقًا مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ يَرُدُّوكُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ كَافِرِينَ. O you who believe, if you follow, if you act upon the advices, ita'ah in Arabic means to obey and to act upon the advice of some person also. If you obey these people, some of these peoples whom the book was given before you, the Christians and the Jews, if you obey some of them, or if you act upon their advice, if you lend your ears to them, they will take you back from ba'da imanikum kuffara. They will take you back from iman to kufr. You will again become kafir. You will again become unbelieving. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in tuti'u fariqan min alladhina utul kitaba yaruddukum ba'da imanikum kafirin. وَكَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ وَأَنْتُمْ تُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ. And how dare you commit kufr? How dare you go back from iman to kufr? وَتُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ. And the ayat of Allah and the signs of Allah are being recited unto you. وَفِيكُمْ رَسُولُهُ. And amongst you is present His messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَمَنْ يَعْتَصِمْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ هُدِيَ إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And whosoever holds fast to Allah, whosoever clings to Allah, whosoever holds fast to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then indeed he is guided to the right path, to the straight way. Here the first half of this surah comes to an end. You have seen, just like Surah Al-Baqarah, in the first half, either the direct address is to the former Muslim Ummah. Here more prominently to the Christians. In Surah Al-Baqarah, more evidently, more apparently to the Jews. Here to the Christians. But after that you had find that Ahlul Kitab, and it includes both. So here also the address mainly has been towards the former Muslim Ummah. And now you know the remaining 10 sections of this surah, starting from ayah number 102 till the end. Here only you will find a very brief reference to the Jews in the very end. But the rest is the address to the Muslim Ummah. And the most part of it that is occupied by a commentary on the events of the Battle of Uhud. But the first two sections are very important, especially the first 3 ayat. These 3 ayat, you know, are so profound, and you can compare them to the 5 ayat of the 19th section of Surah Al-Baqarah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. With these 5 ayat started the second part of the former surah, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, where the address was directed to the Muslim Ummah. Here with 3 ayat, most profound. The full, you know, a methodology has been given to the Muslim Ummah. How to perform your duty. The duty of becoming witnesses unto the whole of humanity. What should you do? How will you perform? What are the prerequisites? What are the preconditions that you must fulfill to be able to discharge that mission and that duty that has been put on your shoulders? Now first 3 ayat, and I have a big book, you know, Ummat-e-Muslimah ka Naya-e-Amal, Quran-e-Hakim ki in 3 ayat ki roshni mein. This is in Urdu, a full book on this subject based on these only 3 ayat. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah as much as you should have. This is the strongest ayah in the Quran about, you know, taqwa. Ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they were very thoughtful about it. How can a person have the taqwa as much as he should have? As much as is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who can fulfill the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And they were perturbed. So when they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and then you know the ayah in Surah Al-Taghabun was revealed. And on that, you know, the Sahaba, then they were satisfied. They were set to rest, you know. And when that ayah is, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Have taqwa of Allah as much as you can. So one can go and try as much as is in his capacity. But here, you know, the wordings are the most strongest wordings. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. And so see to it that you don't die except as Muslims. And what is a Muslim? Muslim is a person who has submitted himself, who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does it mean? If you decide I won't die, but as a Muslim, what does it mean? You will never commit any sin. Because sin actually, what is sin? You are breaking the law of Allah. And maybe that the cruel hands of death pounce upon you at that very moment. If death comes to you at that very moment, you are not dying the death of an obedient person. You have taken liquor. You have committed haram. And at that very moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts death to you. What will happen? Is your death the death of a Muslim? No, this is the death of a sinner. This is the death who is breaking Allah's law, who is in revolt against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has challenged the divine law. So actually this is most profound ayah. And what does it show? If you want to discharge your duties as Muslim Ummah, you must be yourself. First of all, you must be practicing Muslim yourself. You must be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yourself. You must be following the injunctions of the Sharia yourself. You must have the maximum taqwa of Allah in your heart yourself. If you don't fulfill these conditions and you start calling people to the deen of Allah, well, you are putting the cart before the horse. You must put the horse before the cart, not the cart before the horse. And that is, first of all, you have taqwa yourself. Individuals should be prepared first. Individual characters should be built first. And then if you want to build a very strong wall, a very strong rampart, what do? The bricks must be strong. Every brick should be very strong. And then you join together. And the mortar, the cement substance should also be very strong. But first of all, the bricks must be strong. So actually this ummah is composed of bricks. Every Muslim is a brick of this ummah. So this brick should be strong, and their strength, and that is of taqwa and practicing Islam. So this is number one, item number one of the agenda of the Muslim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu. Now the second level. Now join these bricks together. And you hold fast to the rope of Allah, to the cable of Allah, to the cord of Allah, all of you together, وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and don't be disunited. Now these bricks should be joined together, and the cementing substance should be very strong, so that the wall is strong, the rampart is strong. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ, and just remember and recall Allah's blessing upon you is kuntum a'daan, when you were enemies to each other. فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ, Allah united your hearts. فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا, and you became, due to His blessings, due to His grace, you became brothers. وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ, and you were at the very brink of a pit of fire. فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا, you are going to fall in that pit of fire, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved you from that. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. In this way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes His ayat clear for you, so that you are guided, so that you can get the guidance. Now recall, first step was building of strong character of Muslims based on taqwa and practice of Islam. Second, to join them together, to cement them together, to forge them together into one party, into one ummah, into one group. Now what that ummah do? That is the third item on agenda. وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Now out of you should come and should grow an ummah. This is the word that I use. Now you have become an ummah. You have become a party, Hizbullah. أُولَٰئِكَ Hizbullah, أَلَا إِنَّ حِزْبَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. That unity, that disciplined party. Now what that party should do? وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ, there should grow up from amongst you an ummah. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Here again three. Now in the last third ayah, you have three items. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ, call to whatever is good. Call to the khair. And the biggest khair in this world is this Quran. هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. This is the biggest blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So da'wah ila al-Quran. Call people towards Quran, to understand Quran, to read Quran, to follow Quran, to act upon Quran. So first of all, يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَعْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Now the general term. And enjoining on others whatever is good. وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And forbidding them from whatever is munkar, whatever is evil, whatever is bad. These three items for the ummah. No fourth. You don't require any fourth. For any Islamic revolutionary party, you need not have any fourth program with you. First of all, number one, building of individual characters based on taqwa and practice of Islam and practice of Sharia. Number two, disciplined party, disciplined group. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Number three, what this party will do? Three jobs. Da'wat ila al-khair, and I understand from that, Da'wat ila al-Quran. Number two, and let me mention, I forgot to mention, to forge unity among the ummah. Ba'tasimu bihablillah. Hold fast to the rope of Allah. What is the rope of Allah? The Prophet said it is Quran. Al-Quranu hablullahi al-mateen. This is the strong rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Quranu hablullahi al-mamdood min as-sama'i ila al-ard. This is a hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. This Quran is the rope of Allah which stretches from the earth to the sky. So this is the rope of Allah. So actually unity also you can forge through Quran, because it gives you harmony in your thinking, in your ideas. And when the ideas are one, then you will become really united. Now this united party, this group, what will it do? Three things. Dawat ilal khair, towards the same Quran. Number two, ya'muruna bil ma'ruf. Enjoining whatever is good, bidding whatever is good. And yanhawna anil munkar, and then forbidding for whatever is bad. Wa ulaika humul muflihun. And only such people will be growing, will be prosperous, will be successful in the hereafter, who fulfill this three-item agenda. And let me add here from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the last item mentioned here in the third ayah, it has again divisible into three. The figure 3 is being repeated here. 3 ayat. In the third ayah, 3 items. The last item, nahi anil munkar. It has 3 stages according to the hadith. It is from an Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala an. And it has been included by Imam Muslim rahimahullah in his Sahih. Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi. فَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. Whosoever amongst you sees something which is munkar, which is haram, which is not permissible in the Sharia of Islam, it is your duty to change it, to stop it, to curb it with force, with your hands. And if you can't do it, if you don't have the power or authority or strength or courage to do it, then with the tongue at least. Say to people, don't do it, it is haram, it is not permissible. And even if it is not possible for you, then from heart you must hate it. And this is the weakest position of Iman. So 3, again 3, and again 3. This should be the total agenda of any Islamic party. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ تَفَرَّقُوا وَاخْتَلَفُوا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتُ. And don't become like those who were disunited and they differed among themselves after clear signs had come to them. وَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. And for them is a very big torment. This is the example of the former Muslim Ummah. They had also been given the clear signs. They had been given the Sharia. They had been given the book of Allah. But then what happened? They divided among themselves. They were into sects, so many groups. So don't be like them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ. On that day, on which some of the faces will be whitened and brightened, and some of the faces will be blackened. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ. The people whose faces will be blackened, أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ. They will be the people who committed kufr after Iman. It will be said to them, did you revert to kufr after accepting Islam and Iman? فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ. Now taste this azab, this punishment, this torment, because of what you had been doing and the kufr that you committed. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ. And those whose faces will be brightened, فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. They will be in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Or they will dwell in that mercy forever. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ نَتْلُوهَا عَلَيْكَ بِالْحَقِّ. These are the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we are reciting unto you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, bil-haqq, with truth, with a purpose. وَمَا اللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظُلْمًا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And Allah doesn't intend zulm, intend injustice towards all the worlds. وَلِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And to Allah belongs everything that is in the heavens and that is in the earth. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورِ. And all the matters will finally be returned towards Him, that is for the final judgment. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. O Muslims, now you have become the best ummah that has been created, that has been raised for the people, for the humanity at large. This ayah, we can say, is the replica of the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. This is how we have made you the best ummah, the middle ummah, so that you become witnesses unto the whole of humanity, and the Prophet and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam becomes witness over you. Now that was the purpose of the founding of this ummah. Whenever you found a party, first of all you fix the aims and objects. What are the aims and objects of the party? If you are founding an anjuman, a society, what for? You have to lay down, put down in black and white. These are the aims and objects. What for this big anjuman, this big society, this big ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why has it been founded? What were the aims and objects? The aims and objects. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. And in other words, the same thing. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ. Now you have become the best ummah. You are qualified. You have qualified for this position of the best ummah that has been created, that has been raised for the mankind, whole of mankind. أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. What does it mean? Other people live for themselves, for their nations, for their countries. You have to live for the whole of mankind, for the benefit of the whole of mankind, to convey the message of Allah to the whole of mankind, to try to save the whole of the mankind from the fire of hell in the hereafter. That is the mission for which you have to live. You have to live for others. Other people live for themselves, for their own benefits, for their own welfare. But you have to work, you have to live, and you have to die for the sake of the whole of the humanity, to save them from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. The same thing. You have to enjoin whatever is good, whatever is correct. وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. And you have to forbid from whatever is wrong, whatever is unjust. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And keep faith in Allah. Have tawakkul on Allah. Have confidence on Him. And you have faith in Him. وَلَوْ آمَنَ أَهْلُ الْكِتَابِ لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. And if the people of the book had also believed, it was much better for them. They would have saved themselves on the day of judgment. مِنْهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. There are some among them who have the iman. A few actually, they embraced Islam also. There are in them maybe potentially mu'mins who could have accepted and embraced Islam afterwards. مِنْهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَأَكْثَرُهُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. But you know, the majority of them, they are of the rebellious nature. They are the transgressors. لَن يَضُرُّوكُمْ إِلَّا أَذًى. O Muslim, don't fear them. They won't be able to harm you except some timely, temporary and trifling hurt. لَن يَضُرُّوكُمْ إِلَّا أَذًى وَإِن يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ يُوَلُّوكُمُ الْأَدْبَارَ. And if they dare to go to war against you, to come in the battlefield against you, they are sure to show you their backs. They will turn their backs and run away. ثُمَّ لَا يُنْصَرُونَ. And then they will not be helped from any quarter. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ. Now this is the same ayah which we have read in Surah Al-Baqarah. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَيَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ. It appeared there in the end of this 7th section. With a little difference, this ayah and the essence and the subject of matter of this ayah has been repeated here. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ. On them humiliation has been struck. Humiliation has been heaped. أَيْنَمَا سُقِفُوا. Wherever they will be found. إِلَّا بِحَبْلٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَحَبْلٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ. Now here we have an exception. Except when they are in the bondage of some covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe they revert to the covenant. Then you know they will become an exception. Or they are in the bondage of a covenant or treaty with other people. This is the condition today. They are living under the protection of the Christians. They themselves are nothing. They can't survive. But except for the help that they are getting from the whole of the Christian world. Now the matter of the fact is, that they are actually overriding the Christian world. But this is a very temporary phenomenon. Very soon the tables are going to be turned. But at presently, they are controlling the policies of the Christian world. So to say, they have conquered the Christian world. First of all, they used the West, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. They were their tools. They were using them. But now they have conquered even the Catholic world. Because, as you know, the Pope had absolved them from the charge of crucifying Jesus. By a decree, the Pope has said that they are not responsible. The Jews of today, they are not to blame. Number two, now the Vatican has recognized Israel. And there is going to be a diplomatic mission from Vatican to Jerusalem for Israel. So these events are casting their shadows, and the things that have been prophesied by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are now coming very soon. Anyhow, the present condition is that they are under the patronage and protection of the Christian world. إِلَّا بِحَبْلٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَحَبْلٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. And they incurred the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَسْكَنَةُ. And weakness has been, and humiliation has been heaped upon them. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. And this is because they have been denying and belying the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَقْتُلُونَ الْأَنْبِيَاءَ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ. And they have been killing and murdering even the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any reason, without any fault of theirs. ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ. And to this end they have reached. Why? Because they had been breaking and transgressing the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they had been crossing the limits of Sharia. Lesu sawa, again the same ayah. All of them are not equal. Lesu sawa, all of them are not equal, not similar. Min ahlil kitabi ummatun qa'imatun yatluna ayatillahi ana al-layli wa hum yasjudun. Among these people of the book, there are some individuals who are upright and who recite during the nights the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they pass their nights in prostrations. So there were individuals, a few individuals, but they were there. Just as in the Muslim Ummah, there are individuals who are very pious. खाल इस कौम में अब तक नजर आते हैं, वो करते हैं अश्के सहर गाही से जो जालिम वजू. There are very pious individuals. But the hukmul aksar hukmul kul. What is the condition of the maximum number, maximum majority of the ummah? So the whole ummah will be regarded on the basis of that majority. That is the position here, and that was the position 1400 years ago of the Jews. لَيْسُوا سَوَاءً مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ أُمَّةٌ قَائِمَةٌ يَتْلُونَ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ وَهُمْ يَسْجُدُونَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And they believe in Allah and also the last day. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And they enjoin whatever is good. وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And they forbid whatever is bad. وَيُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ. And they compete with each other and vie with each other in piety and in acts of virtue. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And definitely they are from among the pious people. وَمَا يَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَلَنْ يُكْفَرُوهُ. And whatever good they will commit, whatever good deeds they will earn, they will not be deprived of their reward. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah very well knows these people who are really God-fearing, who are really pious. وَمَا يَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَلَنْ يُكْفَرُوهُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالْمُتَّقِينَ. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَنْ تُغْنِيَ عَنْهُمْ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. On the contrary, those who have adopted kufr, who have committed kufr, who have chosen to remain kafir, their wealth and properties and their progeny, their children, will not be able to save them from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. And they are the people of fire, and they will remain and dwell in that fire forever. Masalu ma yunfiquna fi hadhihi al-hayat ad-dunya. The likeliness of that which they are spending in this world, in this life of this world, kamasali rihin fiha sirrun. It is like a very whirlwind in which there is intense cold. Asabat harsa qawmin, and that wind fell on the farm, on the tillage of a nation, zalamu anfusahum, who had wronged themselves, fahlakathu, and they destroyed the whole of the tillage, the whole of the crop. Wama zalamahumullahu walakin anfusahum yazlimun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not wronged these people, but they have been doing wrong to themselves. Now this infaq, which is mentioned here about those people who were not believing in Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this can be of two types. Every person does some act of charity, howsoever bad he might be, but he, for the contentment of his own conscience, he does something. But these things are not acceptable in the eyes of Allah unless a person has real iman and he is sincere in committing and in doing that act of charity. So this is like, one man might be hoping that I have some good deeds with me, but on the day of judgment he finds he has nothing. Just as a storm comes and a crop is burnt away. Number two, they were spending their money, lots of their money, for obstructing the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is a reference actually to their spending of money, because the mu'mineen, they were spending for the cause of Allah. And these kuffar, they were spending for the cause of kufr, for their own ideals. So actually this simile is meant for them. These are two possibilities. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhidhu bitanatan min dunikum. O you who believe, don't take intimate friends for yourself, except from your own self. You should have them from among the Muslims. La ya'lunakum khabala. They don't spare any pains for you. They are always striving to give you pains and injuries. They are always against you. Waddu ma'anittum. Whatever hurts you, they like it. Qad badatil baghwa'u min afwahihim. Their enmity has become evident from their own mouths. Whatever they have been speaking, whatever they have been saying, from that it is evident that there is enmity in their hearts. وَمَا تُخْفِي صُدُورُهُمْ أَكْبَرُ. And the amount of enmity that their hearts are hiding, that is much more great. Only, a tip of the iceberg. Whatever is apparent and evident from what they say, it is the tip of the iceberg. The real iceberg is in their hearts. They have the big and great enmity for you, O Muslims. قَدْ بَيَّنَّا لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. We have made our ayat, our guidance clear for you, for in kuntum taqilun, if only you can understand. Antum la tuhibbunahu. You are those who love them. Wala yuhibbunakum, but they don't love you. Muslims were of good nature. They thought, about these are human beings. We must be good to all humans. How antum haula tuhibbunahum. You love them. Wala yuhibbunakum. They don't love you. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ. And you have faith in all the book. All the book, Torah, Injil, and Quran. You believe in all the books. وَإِذَا لَقُوكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا. When they meet you, they say, we also believe. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا. And when they are in privacy, أَغْضُوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِنَا أَنَامِنَا مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. They bite at their tips of the fingers from rage over you. قُلْ مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ. Say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you perish with your own rage. You burn with your own fire of rage and enmity. Inna Allah alimun bi dhati sudur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very well knows what is there in the hearts of the people, what is there in the chests of the people. In tamsaskum hasanatun tasuhum. If some good thing comes to you, something with which you are happy, it is bad for them. It vexes them. Wa in tusibkum sayyatun. If there is some trouble for you, some painful thing happens for you, yafrahu biha. They are very happy, they rejoice. Wa in tasbiru wa tattaqu. But even then, if you show patience and if you have taqwa, two things. Wasta'inu bis-sabri was-salah. The same thing here. In tasbiru, if you have perseverance and patience, and if you have real taqwa, la yadurrukum kaiduhum shay'a. their conspiracies, their plannings, their plotting, everything will go in vain. They will not be able to do you any permanent harm. Inna Allah bima ya'maluna muheet. Allah Ta'ala is encircling, has encircled whatever they are doing. They cannot go beyond that circle. They cannot go beyond the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-hakim.